I don't know about you, but I get goosebumps when I see that. I am so proud of our city. It's so amazing. Who is proud to live in Signal Hill? Who is proud to work in Signal Hill? Who is happy to come shopping in Signal Hill? And of course, we all love playing in Signal Hill. We have such a beautiful city. I'm so proud of it. The video expresses it so wonderfully. We have a great place to call home here. So today, I can't take credit for all this work. I want to recognize the people behind what you just saw. These accomplishments are thanks to the leadership and collaboration between our city council, our commissioners, our committees, and our city staff. It's my honor and privilege to be here with you this morning to celebrate the inaugural State of the City luncheon for Signal Hill. Woo! Today is a special day for us as we share with you insight on our city's financial health. We introduce you to individuals in our community who are behind the scenes to help us accomplish so many great things. Signal Hill is truly a unique place to live, work, and play. And the video reminds us of the unique character and makeup of the place we get to call home. We are a small town with a big heart, made up by a strong and mighty community of individuals who have a strong passion for what we do. We hope that after today's presentation, you come away knowing how much members of our community truly care about what we do for our city. It truly takes a village, and today, we're celebrating our village. All right, and now it is my distinct honor to introduce the Signal Hill Police Department Honor Guard. At this time, please rise and direct your attention to our Honor Guard for the presentation of colors.
Left face. Freeze it. Halt.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Halt. Post colors. Ready. Two. About face. Left face. Forward march.
Next, please welcome Signal Hill resident Brianna Liddy, who will perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet
How about that? So beautiful. Thank you again to Brianna and our Signal Hill Honor Guard from our police department. One more round of applause. Our next guest, Bishop W. Todd Irvin Sr., Senior Pastor of One Lord, One Faith, One Baptism Christian Church, will now deliver today's invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. He spoke so good of this city. I lived here a few years ago. I may have to move back. Amen. And he's so sharp, I had to look up his tailor, whoever his tailor is. But this prayer won't be long. I'll say what Elizabeth Taylor said to her sixth, seventh, and eighth husband, I won't keep you long. Amen. To the new generation, what Kim K said to the last three deuces, I'm out of here. Let's pray. Father, we ask that you would be with us at this time as we gather. We know that you're omnipotent, which means you have the power to be here. Omnipresent, which means you're everywhere at the same time. You're omniscient, which means you're all-knowing. So you know the need even before we ask. Continue to bless these festivities. Bless the hands that prepare the food. Bless those who consume the food. And have mercy on the cleanup crew. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop, for that wonderful message. All right. I think my picture's up there now. All right. Thank you all for joining us on this special day. I'd like to introduce a few special folks as well. My colleagues from the City Council are here. We have Vice Mayor Tina Hansen, Councilmember Robert Copeland, Councilmember Lori Woods. We also have our City Treasurer, David Hopper, and our City Clerk, Carmen Brooks. I'd also like to recognize Jacob O'Donnell from Senator Lena Gonzalez's office. Representing the City of Long Beach, we have Richard Blackman for Mayor Robert Garcia. We also have from the City of Long Beach, Councilmember Al Austin. And from the City of Long Beach, we have Councilmember Suli Sara. We also have members from the Signal Hill Chamber of Commerce joining us today, and they will be presenting an update on our local business climate and be introduced later in the program. There's a lot to celebrate today, but these accomplishments haven't come without unprecedented obstacles that we've all had to face, not only here at home, but across the globe since 2020. I want to take the time to thank our healthcare workers, our first responders, and our city team for their commitment and dedication to the Signal Hill community during these challenging times. While the challenges can be difficult, our city has overcome these challenges with resilience, forging ahead and continuing to provide services, programs, and resources to our community. The pandemic has taught us all so much, but most importantly, it brought us together as a community to help each other out. For that, we are stronger today than ever before, and I can't say it enough. We have something very strong here in Signal Hill to be extremely proud about. As mayor of this great city, my hope is to continue to inspire our residents to take ownership and pride in our community. I challenge each of you to get involved in our community, whether it's through a citizens group, a faith-based organization, or the city's volunteer program. There are so many people in our community that have embraced this, who have engaged to make their community safer, more beautiful, and even more fun. Scott jokes that my year as mayor is all about the fun. I mentioned earlier today that today is a celebration, and throughout the day we'll also have recognition. And throughout the program this morning, we'll be recognizing the individuals and groups of individuals who have contributed to our state of the city. Today, you will hear about important themes that will highlight how our city representatives, our community members, and our staff work together to make Signal Hill what it is. As we navigate through our presentation, we'll be introducing our commissioners, committee members, and staff. These are all individuals that play key roles in our community and are subject matter experts. Today is about recognizing the talent, special skills, and individuals who are behind the scenes doing some of the phenomenal work we are presenting. With that, the first group I want to recognize today is our Civil Service Commission. I ask that you please hold your applause until I recognize the entire group. So we have Chair Judy Doy, Vice Chair Ron Griggs. We have Commissioner Ida Gabretsky. All those consonants always throw me. Daritza Gonzalez, Paul Patterson. I also would like to, let's give them a round of applause before I go to the next group. Thank you, Civil Service. We have our city's executive team here today. I'd like to recognize our interim city manager, Joe Hefkin. Yay, Joe. You get your own applause. Our deputy city manager, Scott Charney. And our city attorney, Mal Richardson. Today's presentation will cover how we've served our community, major project completions, provide an overview of today's business climate presented by the Chamber of Commerce, our city's financial outlook, and as I close today's program, I'll be sharing some exciting new projects that are slated to be in the queue in the near future. All right. So a lot of times we get asked how we as elected officials come to make our decisions. And there's actually a plan that we use to help guide our process. Our strategic plan helps us identify key priorities and establish goals and objectives that address our community's needs and help identify budget priorities. We also use this plan as a metric to gauge our success and measure our progress. Essentially, we focus our decision-making on keeping our city fiscally sound and sustainable, assuring the safety of our residents and visitors in our community, ensuring that we all do what we can to promote our businesses, investing in our infrastructure, recognizing how our decisions will impact the quality of life for our residents, and ensuring that we're communicating and providing opportunity for the public to be involved in the decision-making process. With the onboarding of our new city manager process under the way, our strategic plan will be updated, reflecting our evolving needs. I would like to introduce Vice Mayor Hanson to the podium, and she is going to elaborate on our community outreach and engagement initiatives. Welcome, Vice Mayor.
And I clearly need a new picture because my hair is much longer now. So I'm going to start with talking about serving our community through community services, the DCC, and public safety. Community services is something that's very near and dear to my heart. Having raised my twins, who are now, I've been telling some people this as I've seen them today, seniors in high school. And so they have grown up in our city, enjoying all of our amenities. It's an honor to share with you this morning what the City of Signal Hill is doing to serve our community. I want to start by introducing the groups and the staff that help to promote community services in Signal Hill. I ask that you please hold your applause until I recognize all members of each group. I'll start with the Park and Recreation Commissioners, and if you're here, raise your hand. Chair Tim Anhorn, Vice Chair Pam Dutch Hughes, Commissioner Carolyn Kisley, our newest commissioner, Catherine Kim, and our second newest commissioner, Andy Zacharias. Let's give them a round of applause. We have a new community services director. They have done an incredible job putting this together today. So everybody from community services, raise your hand and let's give them a huge round of applause. Because we really don't look this good on our own, trust us. We need the support of our staff. So the next group I'd like to introduce, if you're here, raise your hand, and we'll give applause at the end, is our Diversity Coalition Committee members. We have Simona Caldwell, Pam Dutch Hughes, Veronica Escobar, Mary Gonzalez, Jim Green, Harshan Jayakumar, Diana Phillips, Lupe Reyes, Ronald Smith, Kenyetta Sugars, Ali Timaji, Christopher Wilson, I know he's here, Lisa Wong, Reggie Miller, Todd Sahara, John Stephen Scott, and our facilitator, Fred Abdelnour. Let's please give them a big round of applause. And I do want to say something about the DCC. They actually ended up forming right at the beginning of COVID. And so all of their meetings for the first couple years were on Zoom. And through all of that, they kept a group, a cohesive group that wants to work with the city, move ahead with the city. And that's something that to have kept a group like that together during COVID is really miraculous. So excellent job to our coalition. The city staff that are involved in public safety and community service would be our interim police chief, Carl Charles. Let's give him his own round of applause. And our baptized by fire, very clearly, community services director, Yvette Aguilar. So now I'm going to talk about how we serve our community through community services. Through our community services department, we provide a variety of programs and resources, including our active adults programming, which focuses on creating and providing social, emotional, and physical connections with other active adults in the community. I keep blotting out the word seniors and adding in active adults instead. This year we provided 8 active adult excursions with more than 240 attending. It's one of the ways our active adults who may have mobility or transportation challenges can still get together to explore some of the great venues here in Southern California. I know that these active adult excursions were greatly missed, and I know that our residents are very glad to have them back. Our unique programs for children encompass both summer day camp programs as well as safe places for our children to be after school. Our summer day camp and after school programs always fill to capacity, and they help to fulfill an obvious need in the community. And the city is very serious about keeping our costs as low as we can, providing scholarships. We don't want any family left out that needs these services. Our annual events are always a big draw to the city. We hosted 6 summer concerts this year through a partnership with the Signal Hill Community Foundation. I don't know if your Signal Hill Community Foundation, right, are they later on in the program? Wave your hands, Signal Hill Community Foundation. Woo! And we had more than 6,000, which is like close to our population. We had more than 6,000 in attendance this summer. And some of these concerts also included little, we called them mini cultural events at the beginning. Those were the brainchild of the DCC. And I thought that those were just really fantastic pieces to begin our concerts. The concerts provide us the opportunity to develop strong partnerships through the sponsorship program. And for our business community, we thank our business community who is here to engage with our community members. We again celebrated our award-winning, we're always award-winning National Night Out this past August with our police department. It gives us a way to show our love and support for the Signal Hill Police Department, but it makes the police department accessible to our community, to our children, and it in turn allows our police department to show their love and support for the community. And it's just so fantastic to come and see the officers on the kids' level, interacting with the kids. I think that's why it's an award-winning program. We are fortunate to have the cooperation between all of our city departments, our council, our commissions, and our committees as we plan for and deliver quality community events. This two-sided thing is like, I have to make sure I'm on the right page. Okay. Serving our community services, there is a chart, I believe. Is there a chart? Okay. Our state-of-the-art library, we are standing at it right now, opened in August 2019, and has created a beloved resource already for many of our residents and visitors. I don't think it's a secret. This is very near and dear to my heart, having spent many years advocating for the project. And once it actually became a reality, I was involved to the point of, I actually named all the rooms in the library. So when you walk in and you see Pipeline to Knowledge and Heritage of Riches, those are all mine. And even, working with the artist on the mural, I'm so proud of this library. It's just an incredible resource in our neighborhood. Yay, yes, give it a round of applause, library. I mean, who has a dinosaur in their library? I mean, really, who has a dinosaur? The library team offers programs that promote the arts and cultivate the desire to learn through theater workshops, dance lessons, the Bark reading program, where kids get an opportunity to read to shelter dogs, 3D printing classes, book clubs, and author talks. Our library embraces interactive activities such as storytelling, crafts, and it is in the middle of a scavenger hunt that was a fan favorite last fall season. We are proud of our beautiful library that has both traditional and non-traditional offerings. While most of our programming is getting back into our traditional programs, we recognize that there are still families and older adults in our community who need additional support. For this reason, we immediately shifted our focus when COVID hit to close the gap for our residents. This is something else that I'm extremely proud of. The City Council approved an additional $22,500 in funding for the family food distribution program. Originally, we were serving seniors, but when COVID hit, we expanded it to families in need. In addition to the $14,000 funding to help support a pilot Meals on Wheels program for homebound seniors. And the reason that's so exciting is because there were some of our seniors that couldn't even get here to pick up the food. Then they'd have to prepare it. Now they get meals that they just have to put in the microwave that are already prepared, that are delivered. And to date, more than 60 residents have benefited from these programs. And as a council member, these are the kind of programs that just speak to my heart, make me want to continue doing this, and that I'm most excited about. A short while ago, I introduced the members of the Diversity Coalition Committee, more commonly referred to as the DCC. The DCC came about during a time when there was civil unrest and turmoil through the nation, with challenges for all communities due to the perceived lack of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our city was responsive to this outcry, and we formed the DCC to help address the issues. This past July, a diversity breakfast was held as a way for City Council to recognize the achievements of our DCC members and allow them to share their work with others in our community. This was the first time, is this true, Fred? The first time the DCC members had the opportunity to meet in person was at our diversity breakfast. Our mayor and council members and other community members attended and celebrated their successes. We look forward to continuing to partner with the DCC. We know we can do great things together. If I'm reelected and I become the mayor, I really would like to see a cultural festival next year. And that's something I know the DCC has on their agenda as well, and I would really look forward to partnering with them with that. Okay, now my pie chart. Pie chart? Yes, okay. Serving our community. As part of the city's outreach, the city worked with a consultant to survey survey residents to better understand how well the city was serving the community. So I have a little saying that I say to my kids, right? So I'll ask them a question, and their answer will be, I think. And my answer to them is, there's thinking and there's knowing. We don't think, we know. So you ask the questions until you know. So as a council, it's very easy to sit here and think, ooh, our residents are really happy, but we need to know that. And so by doing this survey, we found out what the opinion of our city was. I want to highlight a few points from the survey. And in the survey, 81% of the community thought that the quality of life in Signal Hill was good to excellent. We were very proud of our rating. We had a great response to our survey as well. And overall, we're happy that residents are pleased with the way that we reach out to them and to our community. The survey, yes, give a round of applause for that. The survey also showed an 85% satisfaction rate with the city's services, and those services are our staff, community services, our police department, community development, public works. And so we are very grateful to them for the work that they do that gives them such a positive response. We can give them a round of applause too, our city staff. Celebrating diversity, equity, and inclusion. In 2019, City Council adopted a commemorative flag policy by resolution, which allows for the rotating display of commemorative flags at certain city facilities. I don't think we have one up right now, but one of them would be there if we did. In 2020, City Council approved the following commemorative flags: National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, Black History Month, Women's History Month, World Health Worker Week, Public Service Recognition Week, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, LGBTQ Pride Month and LGBTQ social movements, Labor Day, National Hispanic Heritage Month, and Native American Heritage Month. Another result from the survey showed that Signal Hill residents strongly believe that celebrating our diverse backgrounds creates a strong community and helps us better support and engage with one another. By flying these flags, by having displays in the library, we help to educate our community, and and personally, I hope that we continue to grow this. Don't listen to that, with like maybe some cultural celebrations around it next year, that we continue to grow and educate our community. Because you can display all you want, but you still need to educate the community about the diversity that we have. And last, but definitely not least, is celebrating Ron Settles Day, which is June 2nd. This past year, the city officially declared June 2nd as the Ron Settles Day of Remembrance. The city has a rich history, and with the upcoming celebration of its 100-year anniversary, it's common for a city to reflect back on its good times as well as its difficult times. While this is a time in history that was definitely challenging to the city, it's important to highlight the moves the city has made over the last 4 decades to remember the past and redefine our future. You know, you cannot turn your back on the dark side of your past as much as you may want to. You have to illuminate it. You have to remember it so that you make sure you never go back and make that mistake again. And that's what the Ron Settles Day is about for us. This commemoration is indicative of the City Council's goal to promote progress, inclusivity, and a diverse way of thinking, and again, remembering so we do not repeat our mistakes, particularly about our community. And now, I'd like to turn it back to Mayor Jones to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I also would like to recognize Juanita Matthews. She is Ron Settles' aunt. Thank you for joining us today. All right. So thank you for highlighting our community services, Vice Mayor Hansen. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage Councilmember Copeland, who will be sharing some information about how our police department helps to further promote engaging opportunities for our residents.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. Is my picture up? You know, Tina pointed out that her hair is longer. I need to change my picture because now I have a beard and I'm also losing my hair. So that's what I've taken from this so far. Thanks again, Mayor Jones. Thank you for hosting this event. Thanks to the city staff for setting this up. It's been amazing. I want to share a little bit about how Signal Hill truly embraces community outreach through our police department. It's important that we create avenues for our community to not only know about the police department, but to experience them through the lens of a law-abiding citizen. Unfortunately, at times, there's a negative connotation to policing because of the way public safety is viewed. But the Signal Hill Police Department strives to provide opportunities for our residents to get to know law enforcement outside of dealing with them in terms of following the law. The police department has focused on the way in which they engage and share information in our community. This is not only in response to a survey, but something that we really believe is critical to maintaining a transparent government and creating opportunities for our residents to familiarize themselves with our police department through day-to-day human interactions that can change the dialogue we create for future generations. Our police department has a neighborhood watch program and frequently partners with residents to establish neighborhood watch groups in our community, in addition to maintaining regular communication with all of our HOAs in the city. As part of that, we know that the preferred means of interacting with and providing critical information to the public has changed. To that end, our police department has embraced social media as a valuable tool to connect them with our residents. Please follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Nixle, and I believe they also have a Twitter feed that maybe they're just waiting for Musk to take over and get that on the list. A critical component to outreach is providing opportunities for the community to gather and get to know their public servants. The department is proud to have sponsored or participated in the following events: National Night Out, as Vice Mayor Hansen noted, Senior Bingo, the Christmas Gift Parade, Popsicle with a Cop, and Coffee with a Cop. Also, I'm very happy to share with you that this council just this week voted unanimously to increase the number of police officers in our city budget so that we will have a total of 35 sworn police officers when we're fully staffed. That deserves a round of applause. Thank you. At the beginning of the 22-23 school year, the police department reinstituted its school resource officer program after a 5-year hiatus. The resource officer rotates his time amongst the elementary and middle schools within Signal Hill. He works with the staff to ensure student safety, build lasting relationships, and provide mentorship to students. Additionally, and more recently, our police department deployed 2 officers on bicycles to increase visibility and engage with the community in high traffic areas. This approach has received positive feedback from the public on numerous occasions. One issue that has become more prevalent and is facing every single city is how we work with unhoused individuals. Signal Hill currently has 1 police officer assigned as a full-time homeless liaison officer as part of the homeless outreach program. He works closely with the area outreach service providers, such as the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority, in an effort to connect this population to needed services. The homeless liaison officer frequently partners with Los Angeles County mental health professionals to contact members of the homeless population and educate them as to available resources in the county. The services we provide take a unified approach, and our police department has made significant progress to help address this topic in our community. One of the most recent additions to our network of support is a homeless service liaison. This position is a tri-city collaboration between the cities of Signal Hill, Lakewood, and Hawaiian Gardens. The position is being funded through Measure H and will serve as an advocate for the 3 cities to ensure our service providers are responsive to our needs and will work to address specific areas of concern. Thank you for your time this morning. Please welcome back Mayor Jones.
We have cues on here, and my cue was just to get ready, not that it was the end. So that I'm ready to jump on stage and introduce, thank you, Councilmember Copeland, on the update on how our police department is engaged with our residents. Next up is Councilmember Woods, who will highlight some of the major projects in the city of Signal Hill. Welcome, Councilmember Woods.
Very good. Okay, great. Well, we've all commented on our photo, and why do you think I need to update my photo? No, it's not the gray hair, it's the glasses, right? I am very excited to share with you about the city's major projects, which include parks, new developments, street, traffic maintenance, and water. Woohoo! These are the things that matter. They get all the fun and everything else, but unless you have streets to drive on, and you know that when you flush a toilet, it's going to disappear. These are things that really matter to our everyday lives. They all matter. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing another group of individuals who help make Signal Hill shine. I ask that you please hold your applause until I recognize everybody. And once I recognize you, put your hand up. You can stand up if you want, and keep your hand up so we can see the whole group. This is our Planning Commission. The chair is Victor Parker. Victor, are you here? Our vice chair, Sonia Sauvignon. I know I butchered your name. I'll figure it out. And then Commissioner Parika Bell. Commissioner Rose Richard. I know I saw Rose. There you are. Thank you. And Commissioner Christopher Wilson. Hi, Chris. Glad you're all here. Please give them a round of applause. They do very technical, hard work and make decisions by the time they come to council much, much, much easier. And then our Sustainable City Committee members. I serve on this committee as well as Councilmember Robert Copeland, Julie Doy, Pam Dutch Hughes, Pirika Bell, Community Representative is Cecilia Fedora, Community Representative Bojana Jaworski, David Przinski, Lisa Wong, I know I saw Lisa here, and Deborah Layton, our Business Associate Representative. Thank you to our Sustainable City Committee members. And then again, to recognize some city staff by name, Cecil Looney, Patrick Kelly, wave your hands, I know you're here, there we go. They're here today on behalf of our Public Works Director, Thomas Beckel. And then Colleen Doan, where are you, Colleen? She's way over there, almost in the sun. Colleen is our Community Development Director. Again, these are people who work very, very diligently in making all of these great programs and projects available to us in Signal Hill. The city's newest park, it should be up there, our Heritage Point Park, opened this summer in July. This park features a walking trail connection from Skyline down to Creston Avenue with access on a sidewalk to City Hall. In addition to the walking trail, the park has seating area for guests to enjoy spectacular views of the coastline of the Port of Long Beach, the new the International Long Beach Gateway Bridge, which was the Desmond Bridge, and Rancho Palos Verdes. A lot of those same views are available right here in the corner of our balcony here in the on our library terrace. We're incredibly thankful to the Rivers and Mountains Conservancy for selecting our city as a recipient of the grant funding that helped to develop this wonderful park. I hope you enjoy it soon. I think the most exciting part about this park is that it also serves as a link for pedestrians to what we envision will be a connected trail system throughout the city and will be incorporated into future developments as well. If you haven't had a chance to visit this new park and its view, we hope you'll do so. Another great, very exciting upgrade that we've just recently approved is the city's thrilled to share that we are upgrading Discovery Well Park with the renovation of the existing playground, the addition of Signal Hill's first ever pickleball court, and resurfacing of the existing basketball court. This project is being funded through Proposition 68 funding, as well as reserve CIPs and CDBG funding. The park renovation will be completed before the end of the next calendar year and is addressing a desired need to add a pickleball court. The project will be a multi-phase project beginning with a playground update and other enhancements. This past week, the City Council unanimously approved entering into a public works contract with a vendor for the construction of the Discovery Well Park improvement. So look for that in the coming months. One of the city's long-term goals is the continued acquisition of property on 21st Street to expand the existing footprint of our Signal Hill Park, which is right in front of City Hall. The city successfully acquired 2 properties and demolished the property which expanded the footprint of the park that you see today. One of those is now our community garden, which houses 24 plots accessible to community members for their gardening needs. And last year, the city also acquired an additional 3rd site, and that property will be evaluated for its best use in the future. Our other major projects, another very exciting announcement for our city is the certification of the housing element, which was certified on October 13th, 2 days before its due date. The housing element is one of the state's 7 mandated elements of the city's general plan, and our team worked tirelessly to make sure that we got ours in on time and that it met the state deadlines. I'll also add that I think there are fewer than 20% of the 488 cities in the state of California that have completed their housing element, and we are one of those cities. So congratulations to us. At this point in time, there are 4 conceptual housing sites planned for the period 2021 to 2029. And the map on your right is an aerial view of these conceptual properties. This next slide shows each of those areas in a little more detail. And of course, all this is available on the city website and many sources if those slides are a little too small. The properties include Orange Bluff, which is located between Orange Avenue and Gundry Avenue and 27th and 28th Streets. This area was rezoned and will create 290 additional residential units. Another property includes the Walnut Bluff between Walnut and Willow, which will bring in 90 residential units. The other property includes Town Center Northwest. It is a mixed-use project between Willow and Walnut. The development is anticipated to bring in 267 new residential units and 26,000 square feet of commercial space and community space. We finally have Heritage Square. And finally, we have Heritage Square. I wish I could say we finally have Heritage Square, but we're not. We finally have it mapped out off of Cherry and Burnett, which is another mixed-use project. This property is anticipated to bring in additional 60 residential units and 48,000 square feet of commercial use and community space. Applause. Perfect. With our 4 new projects, this will bring more than 700 new residential units to our city in the next 8 years, which will also include workforce housing. At this point, this is absolutely phenomenal. Those of you who aren't familiar with the state mandates for housing, most every area throughout California, Signal Hill, as a small of a city as we are, 2.2 square miles, and currently about 12,000 residents. This is a huge ask from the state for us, but we stepped up. We didn't shy away from it. We gave the pushback that we needed for understanding, and we've got the job done. Now we just have to complete the job. So, thank you for that. Another major project development includes a site at 2550 Orange Avenue, which is the former Majestic Golf site, along with our other business partners in the city that help make these developments possible. This site is an application for a new distribution center, approximately 100,000 square feet. The project also includes a proposed new city park. And the list goes on. As if staff doesn't have their tongue hanging out already with all of these details of all of these developments and plans. On November 9th in 2021, a project on 2020 Walnut Avenue was approved and is currently in plan check. This is anticipated to be an industrial park, approximately 151,000 square feet of building, which will include a total of 9 buildings. We've also recently approved the American University of Health Sciences, which is right down on the corner. You can see the roof through the trees there, known as AUHS. They notified the city earlier of their desire to expand their educational programs beyond the current schools of nursing and pharmacy to also include outpatient pharmacy services and an outpatient pediatric clinic as well, as the addition of a private high school on the same campus to add these elements to their programming. We value education. We're happy about the opportunity to offer additional educational opportunities in our city. Our first ever high school, really. Right, we've got some on the border. We have middle schools and elementary schools, but this will be our first high school within the city limits. It's interesting to hear from the community when projects like these are in construction. Oftentimes we don't realize how long projects like these take place to go through the review and the approval process before their construction ever begins. So we appreciate AUHS and their desire to bring these elements into our city and into their property, and happy to help them with the process. We value and encourage our residents to remain engaged so they're aware of how major projects like these come into existence. Now onto our streets and our traffic. While we had to take a momentary pause in our planned projects in 2020, we never lost focus on the importance of maintaining and improving our city's existing infrastructure. With proper project planning and a strategic allocation of funding, we are once able again to shift our project focus back into high gear. Earlier this year, we approved the annual work plan for critical capital improvement projects. Say that 10 times. Critical capital improvement projects. Okay. Our Public Works Department continues to maintain the capital infrastructure of our city. If you're in Public Works, pat yourself. If you're sitting next to a public works person, pat them on the back right now. And honk and wave when you see anybody in orange or yellow in the city working on the side of the road. Our Public Works Department continues to maintain the capital infrastructure of our city, has successfully achieved the completion of the 2022 pavement management plan. Okay. This is too late in the presentation to be putting in multiple words. Complicated. Which includes the completion of the 2022 slurry seal phase 1 and start of phase 2, and the sidewalk repair project, which can be reviewed here on the images on your screen. Roads and sidewalks are key critical infrastructure in our city, primarily because the city serves as one of the major arterial connections to the city of Long Beach and surrounding areas. We are proud of having completed these 2 major projects, as well as a 5-year engineering and speed study and updated 19 speed limits throughout the city. The next, water. Told you nothing happens unless you can flush your toilet and you turn on your tap and water comes on. So this is critical. With climate change, water is one of the most critical resources in the world. And we are fortunate to have our own water division in our city and our own wells. The city has a water main replacement program along 33rd Street from California to Walnut. The project includes a brand new 12-inch domestic water main along the southern part of 33rd Street, which will include the replacement of the aging infrastructure, as well as improvements to the pavement and street. The best part about this project, it is 100% funded by ARPA, the American Recovery ARPA funds, and will not be requiring the allocation of any funding from the city to complete this important project. Now I'll turn it back to Mayor Jones, and I want to personally thank Mayor Jones for putting together this inaugural State of the City event. We hope to continue it in the future years and keep everyone posted on the hard work that all the staff is doing and the things that we're just signing off. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Woods. We have done a lot of work, as you can see by the slides, and there's just such amazing projects coming up. And hopefully we're inviting more residents to come live in Signal Hill as well in the near future. All right. I have to find my page, but there's 2 folks that I'm very excited to introduce today. From the Signal Hill Chamber of Commerce, we have President Adelita Silva. And we have First Vice President Chris Arnaldo. Welcome.
Okay. How's that? Good? Thank you. As the president of the Chamber of Commerce for the City of Signal Hill, I'd like to take a few moments to say some thank yous. I guess that's what we're doing today, right? Thank you. So first, I'd like to thank Mayor Jones. Keir has been a mentor, a friend, and all-around pal. When I became the president of the chamber, he reached out to me immediately. What are your ideas? What are your plans? What are you going to do? Let's talk. So I so appreciate him being in my life. He's made these last 5 years as president absolutely wonderful. Thank you for that. I then would like to thank our chamber members. Their support and their engagement has stood fast, and we have survived these last few years because of them. So please wave your hand, your members. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your being here today. Next is a group of people that's very dear to my heart. And I tried very hard rehearsing this without tearing up, but I tell you, I do tear up. I'd like to thank the board of directors. Please wave your hand, stand up, take a bow. You're absolutely fabulous. They have stood side by side. We have stood side by side these last few years through some very wonderful times and some very difficult times. But no matter what we needed, we talked, we worked it out, and we made it happen. So you know you're here in my heart forever. Thank you so much. And lastly, I would like to thank Comerica Bank. Without Comerica Bank's philosophy and mission to support the local communities, I would not have had the opportunity to serve as the president of the chamber for the last 5 years. And then next, I'd like to thank our market manager, who happens to be here today, Mr. John Fitzgerald. John, please wave your hand. I'd like to thank him for his support. He's like, I didn't do anything, Adeline. I came and had a great lunch. Thank you. I know what he's thinking. But I'll tell you, through that lovely COVID year, our executive team, I don't think they got 2 hours of sleep any night, because it didn't matter if it was 2 a.m. Sunday morning or 2 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. When we needed support, we could reach out to them, and they were always there for us. So please send my thank you. As Chris goes into our topic today, please keep in mind, we all have support, all of us. Whether it be your favorite financial advisor or your favorite banker. When you need to communicate, please reach out to them. I urge you to do so. It actually makes things a little bit better. So now I'll introduce Chris. Thank you.
Got some allergies up here. All right. So when we were asked to present today, I actually prepared a 79-page economic report for you all. So just be patient, please. Just kidding. I actually did put something together, but I'm not going to go through it all because most of it was already touched on in the earlier great presentations by the council members. But I'm just going to go a little bit high level, throw a couple numbers at you, and then kind of just allude to what Adelita finished off. So yes, it's been a challenging last few years, economically, right? We had COVID, unemployment shot towards 20%, and thankfully we were able to get out of that. However, now we're facing a couple more things in our face. Two major things: inflation, gas, groceries, right? And you go to Costco, instead of spending maybe $150, now your bill's like $300. Price of a car. Right? A brand new car, average price is right around 50 grand. Is that right, Chad? I see you over there in the audience. So we've got some challenges. We still have stuff going on internationally. We have, China's economy, the second largest behind the U.S. is struggling right now. They have an issue with younger generations because they had that the birth limit yourself to one baby. Over there, and some other issues I'm not going to get into. Russia and Ukraine, our thoughts and prayers go out to our Ukraine communities out here, but they're battling a lot of things. And then UK has their third prime minister in like 48 days. That's just crazy. So that's impacting a lot of what's going on here in the States. However, there is a lot of light at the end of the tunnel, right? I mentioned car prices. Used car prices are down about 10% year on year, October of last year to October of this year. The S&P CoreLogic Index, which covers home prices, the last number I got was about 0.4% down. That's probably going to, as far as prices, that's probably going to trend more downward as interest rates rise and as homes sit. Unemployment. Still hovering right around 3.5, 3.6%. Still good, right? And just this morning, GDP is positive 2.6%. So you know what? There's no recession coming. Just kidding. There might be. There just might be. So how do we get through all this? How do we get through tough times like we've been facing over the past couple years, and also what we might foresee a recession coming? Adelita touched on our chamber. Our chamber membership, right? And this is going to flow into how do we overcome our obstacles. Chamber membership, we're actually up about 20% this year versus last year, which is amazing. So round of applause to all you members out there, all you board members. We were still able to host over 20 in-person events this year so far. Okay, and so how do we continue this growth, right? The council members brought up some great organizations. I even see the Signal Hill Police Foundation out there. I see the Signal Hill Community Foundation. I see the Rockford Vets, out back there. I apologize if I don't name everyone, but there's a lot of great nonprofit organizations within Signal Hill, okay, along with the Chamber of Commerce, right? So do me a favor, look around the room, okay? If there's someone you haven't met yet before, okay, your goal today before we leave is to meet that one person, okay? And that's how we're gonna get through this, this economic difficulty that we're having, right? Is by helping each other out, okay? So I'm asking you, I'm urging you, if you're not a member of the chamber, please come join us. We want to continue to grow. I'm going to do a quick plug. Our installation luncheon, okay, is on Thursday, January 26th. So pull out your smartphones and mark that on your calendar, please. We as a board want to see that place. We still have determined the location. Rockin'. We want a sold out crowd. All right, just like the Dodgers. Sorry, Dodgers. So with that being said, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, we appreciate each and every one of you that does business here in Signal Hill. Whether you do business in Signal Hill or in the surrounding community, we still appreciate you. So thank you. Thank you to Keir for your support throughout these past few years, and I bring the mic back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris and Adelita. What a great update and a little source of optimism for the future. Let's grow the chamber membership. All right, it's great having the high-level perspective on our economy, but now I'd like to invite Councilmember Wilson to the stage, and he is going to share a little bit of information about our city's financial outlook. Welcome, Councilmember.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. I appreciate the opportunity. Just a couple of things before I start off with. One is I really do want to thank the mayor for this. Some years back, I actually suggested that we have a state of the city. We weren't able to do it, so I want to thank the mayor, and this was prior to his time being on council. So I want to thank you, Mayor, for revitalizing this idea. I hope that we are able to do this on a consistent basis because I think it's important. I also want everyone to take a look around the room. Take a look around the room. A lot of you may not even know it, but you are part of the brain trust of this city. I truly believe, and have always believed, that the more people and the more communities that are involved make our city better. It just makes us better, that we get different perspectives invited to the table so that when we address an issue, no matter what it is, big or small, that we get the perspective of a number of people that may be affected by it, not just us that are sitting on council, but people that in their daily lives are affected. And I just want you guys to give yourself a round of applause for being here and being part of Signal Hill. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize our finance director, Sharon Del Rosette. Sorry, Sharon. I don't know why I can't do this. And when I'm at, other places, Sharon Del Rosario, right? Rosario. And yet, when I get to a mic, somehow or another, the Rosario gets stuck. So I apologize. But for the staff and everyone that's participated in this presentation, because it is important, and our operating budget and our capital budget really sets the tone for the city. What resources are available to address which issues? I think I've been honored to provide these remarks to this section because of my background. I am a CPA. I graduated from USC. I work with KPMG, which is the largest public accounting firm in the world. I've also been a CFO of a local community bank, and today I was working with some numbers, and that's why I got here a little late, because I'm trying to do with this company what we're doing here in the city, and that's just make it great and successful. So as you listen to the presentation that I'm making, I'd like you not just to focus on our past accomplishments, but more importantly, I want you to think about our boundless potential, what we can do still, what is yet to come. Because I really believe if we believe every day that the best is yet to come, that day is going to be better. But if we believe our past is as best as going to get, we try to get back there. And the truth is, you can never go back. We can only go forward. All the conditions that exist, they exist at the moment. They will change tomorrow. It's like golf. Anybody play golf? Anybody play on the same course? Each day it's different. They could even have the holes in the same place, but it is different. And so you know that you cannot get back to yesterday's golf today. Today is a new day. Okay. For the past 25 years, the city has received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting and the city's annual Comprehensive Financial Report. We take great pride in being good stewards of your tax dollars and the city's finance. It is my desire that we will continue this wise tradition for years to come. The city's operating budget now is $32.2 million with a capital budget of 8.3, which includes more than 10 capital improvement projects that are scheduled for the current fiscal year, and I think you've heard a few of them. The city's primary source of revenue is sales tax, with nearly three-quarters of the revenue resulting from this source of income. Property taxes result in approximately 7% of the city's overall revenue source, with several other small revenue sources that help supplement the budget, including licensing and permits, charges for services, and oil production taxes. We're going to talk a little bit more about property taxes. So we as a city, we're always looking for ways to shore up, diversify our revenue. And diversity is good in a lot of ways. And so we're always looking at that. So we have a long-term commitment to fiscal prudence, and what we've done, and I know something I've championed, is to build our reserves, right? When I first got on council, our reserves were about 5%, a little bit less than that. They are now well above 50%. We're projecting that it's going to be about 72%. My goal is to get us to 100%. And the reason I say that, you have to understand the reason. The bigger your reserve is, it allows you time to make decisions if something significantly happens. And that's why people say you should save, right? You should have money in the bank. It's not because you don't want to spend. Is because you know that there are things that are coming that you're not aware of. You know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. And that's why we buy insurance, right? We drive a car. We think we're the best driver in the world, but we don't know about that other driver, right? So, and the chamber mentioned, there were significant headwinds facing our economy as a whole. And so the city diligently monitors future economic indicators for any fiscal impacts. As of today, the city's financial foundation is strong and poised to continue its strong economic performance. This slide shows the city's property tax, which makes up 7% of the city's revenue. The city of Signal Hill is considered a no-low property tax city, which means prior to the city enactment of Prop 13, the city had a low or no property tax. And Prop 13, kind of like what it did is it froze all property tax revenue at the existing rate or 1%, right? So if it was less than that, then that's what you get. Now, the reason I mention this is because we're saying property tax is 7% of our budget, right? When I got on council, I said I wanted to raise the property value of every property in Signal Hill, every property. At that time, the total assessed value from LA County for the city of Signal Hill was $990 million. $990 million. Today, it is $3.1 billion. If we were to receive 1% of that, 1%, that would be $3 million, right? I think I calculated that right. We don't get anywhere close to that. But what it does show is that the city has grown in those years, and it's done well. And hopefully, those that have been here have done well as well. People always ask about their property values. We hear that on council a lot. My property value, my property value. I can assure you that the council thinks a lot about making sure that the properties in Signal Hill are of value. The city also used to have redevelopment. We no longer have that because that was eliminated by the state. So when we're looking at our numbers, you got to think about this. We're getting, Sharon, where are you? Now I can call you. Where are you? What do we get in property tax, approximately? About 500, right? That's what I wanted. That's what I think. So 3 million. So we're losing 2.5 million, right? Not only that, we lost all of redevelopment, and yet the city is doing well. Recently, Measure R, which the citizens approved, and we want to thank the citizens for doing that. It's a 3%, I'm sorry, not 3%, 0.75% general transaction and use tax, which strengthened our tax base. It provided an additional 4.5 million annually. And the citizens did that for two reasons. One, because the city needs money, but two, to protect ourselves from the future. Because if we didn't do it, then another agency could have come in that's bigger than ours, let's say the county, and had a measure, and then they would have got it and we wouldn't have. So I think the citizens understood that, and they said let's do all we can for the city and continue to build our financial success. So these funds will partially or fully fund many of the city-wide capital improvements, including the city facility improvements and several park improvements that include the pickleball and playground equipment at Discovery Well Park. Again, you've already heard about that. I'm not going to keep going into it. The city's ability to promote a fiscally stable environment will also help to continue to attract a skilled, intelligent, talented workforce to the city and to businesses. Businesses like to be in areas of success. And so if the city's successful, businesses like to be there. But for the city to be successful, our businesses also need to be successful. So it's a symbiotic relationship. It is something that we need to make sure we understand and we continue to develop. Currently, the city is in the recruitment process for key executive positions. We have the city manager and the future recruitment of the chief of police, and our deputy city manager is retiring, and so we're going to go out a recruitment on that. And so it's important that people, and what we found is that many people view the city as Signal Hill as a desirable place to what? Live, work, and play. In fiscal year 23-24, the city anticipates that funding from Measure R will allow for the continuation of capital projects will include the street widening project on California and 27th, a citywide medium improvement project, acquisition of emergency generators, the painting and repair of the police station, Metal Gate, a facilities master plan to help proactively anticipate and plan for infrastructure long-term maintenance, the renovation of Hillbrook Park, and I'm going to tell you a little bit long-term. Hopefully, we will be able to use the funds, or at least, some of the funds for the much-needed renovation and/or rebuild of Signal Hill City Hall. Moving on. COVID-19, that had an impact. We've talked about that. And a lot of times when we talk about COVID, we think about the negatives. And I like to, again, focus on the positive, right? For me, personally, one of the positives is Savi and I got to know each other much, much better, much more. And we've found that we're very, very compatible, and so hopefully in the near future, and I'm saying sometime next year, we will hear some type of wedding bells. But there are also other positives for the city, huh? You know? And one was we had the COVID grants, a micro business recovery grant. We did offer $50,000 to businesses with 10 or fewer employees. And you know, when we went out and we said we had this, we had an oversubscription, so we had to have some type of lotto to do it. And it was a fair process. So if anyone's out there asking, it was very fair. We kind of randomly picked, because everybody was in need. Everyone that applied was in need. They had to demonstrate a decline in revenue of at least 25% between 2019 and 2020. The $50,000 that we provided in grant qualifying micro businesses is part of a $5.8 million budget surplus from the city's 2020-2021 fiscal year. So we had a surplus of $5.8 million. At that time, the city council decided to save most of that surplus, but spend $300,000 for small businesses, food distribution, and police equipment. And what we're going to do, as we're going forward, we're looking at ways that we can assist people, because we are still recovering from COVID. And this room doesn't look like it, and I'm glad to see that, but we are. I mean, we are. And being in business, I know a number of businesses are still faced with a number of hurdles that they're still trying to overcome. So over the past nearly 2 years, Signal Hill businesses received $105 million in federal COVID-19 relief loans through the March 2020 Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Securities Act, or CARES, and the April 2020 Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP. 126 Signal Hill businesses received loans through those programs of $150,000 or more to support more than 6,600 jobs. We are really proud to have been able to offer our grant program, and when we say grant, that means you don't have to pay it back, right? It's not a loan. It's a grant, and it was something that allowed these businesses to continue in operation and keep their doors open. Our businesses are crucial to the city's overall financial success, so we are pleased to have the opportunity to provide some measure of relief. With that, I would like to bring back Mayor Jones.
Thank you, Councilmember Wilson.
And thank you for being patient with me and listening to these remarks and participating in this first inaugural State of the City.
Very good. Thank you. All right, there was a few folks that we did not recognize yet, so I wanted to recognize the guys, the crew, the folks that keep us safe. Our fire department is here, so welcome LA County Fire. I also wanted to recognize the president of our police foundation, Charlie Honeycutt. We have Marty Simonoff here. He is a council member from the city of Brea. He wears many hats as well as EDCO and being part of our board of the Community Foundation. Thank you, Marty, for all you do. And Josh Lowenthal is here as well. Thank you, Josh. And David Hopper, you get a special shout out. You missed your first one. Oh, you weren't sitting in the VIP seat yet. Still, our city treasurer is here as well, David Hopper. Thank you, David. He keeps a watchful eye on the finances, and every city council meeting, he's back there in the consent calendar, overlooking our finances and making sure the money is going to good use and in proper and good order. So thank you, Treasurer Hopper. All right, we're on to the end. Did you enjoy your cookie? All right. As many of you know, there are some staffing transitions that are occurring in Signal Hill. Specifically, we've introduced you to our interim city manager. We have an interim city chief. We're actively recruiting for those positions on an ongoing basis, and we hope to have some new folks filling those soon. There's no question that Signal Hill has much to offer as an employer, including consensus-oriented and supportive city council. Woo woo, city council. A great staff team. We have engaged residents and a business community, and a vibrant business community with a strong tax base. All of these things combined with the beautiful hilltop setting, just a short distance from the coastline, makes Signal Hill a truly special place. I'm confident that we'll appoint very qualified, competent, and caring professionals to fill these important positions. They'll probably be watching this to learn more about us. So hopefully we have them in place soon, so stay tuned. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about communication. So we have the Signal Hill app. Signal Hill is a progressive city, always looking to ways to embrace and enhance our communication with residents and our business community. Without the support of our community, Signal Hill could not be the diverse community it is today. That legacy has turned our attention to ensure that we continue to respond to the new digital landscape that exists. You'll notice our communication strategy will continue to develop and progress. We'll do many events like this, traditional ones where we get folks together, but we also want to utilize social media on a more regular basis to help communicate with our community through platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as the city website. We're also implementing new technology to better stream our city council meetings so that you can watch online, and those will be available with both English and Spanish subtitles. The city is proactively responding to the new digital landscape. So this is your interactive portion of the presentation today. Get out your phone. I want you to go to your app store, search for Signal Hill Now. I don't see the phones out. You're still watching me. All right, we got a few of them out. Signal Hill Now is our app. It gives users access to the city utility billing, so you can pay your water bill, news and events. It also gives you information on our city facilities and parks so that you can utilize those. This new app allows our residents to remain connected and is seamlessly integrated into the city website. If you see something needs attention, you can report it there. You can track it all. So, all right, who's downloaded it? Did everybody find it? You're finding it okay? Look, and what picture is up right now? Is it the library picture or City Hall? So the photos change. It's really awesome. So I recommend you use it. Of course, you can always reach out to staff if you have questions. Community Services Department has a huge calendar. We have our City Views magazine. Hopefully you saw that beautiful publication. All of this is thanks to our new communication specialist, Michael, standing in the back. So thank you for all you do to keep our residents informed and also keep them engaged with all the things the city is doing. All right. Oh, the last thing is make sure you like our stuff, like our page, share things, forward the email, invite your friends to join you, in Signal Hill to live here, invite your business friends to come here and create their business here. We want to make sure that you invite more like-minded folks to continue to make our city great. All right, so do I have a look ahead? I see you're ready. They're ready for the big reveal. This is really, really exciting. We had the official presentation last week, and this really is opening up a lot more possibilities for us in our city to bring more events, more times for us to gather and share. And so, as your mayor, it's such an honor and privilege to be part of this $5 million check presentation. Woo! We received this $5 million check last week from Senator Lena Gonzalez. I believe that we have her office here today, but I don't. There's Jacob. Thank you. They're allocating $5 million in funds to renovate, create really a state-of-the-art amphitheater behind me in Signal Hill Park. And we had many folks, including Andy out there with his wife performing. We have International City Theater that's looking forward to a new venue. Of course, it'll be a great location for our concerts in the park. And it'll be a wonderful spot as we continue to bring Signal Hill out to celebrate what we love about our city and add some more culture and arts. And it's truly going to be a great spot for us to gather. All right, well, I want to thank our residents and our businesses of our city once again for having so much pride in our city and for your resiliency over the last few years. I would also like to thank my fellow city council colleagues, the Chamber of Commerce, our community of volunteers, our commissioners, our committees, our healthcare workers, and our first responders, and particularly our city staff for their collaborative and thoughtful work this year. It's undoubtedly because of their shared love and commitment to this great community that we were able to do all that we have been able to do and celebrate their work today. Thank you for being part of such an important year. It's only through our shared commitment, our shared resiliency, that we've been able to make such a tremendous amount of progress. Yay! We sincerely appreciate everyone's support coming out for our program. We hope that you've enjoyed your morning and into the afternoon, and you've had an opportunity to learn a little bit more about our city's efforts and achievements. I wish you a great afternoon. Let's go forward, Signal Hill.